Good morning, everyone. This is Schoology training screencast number 3. So thanks for joining us. Today we are going to learn about how to use the Google Drive. So the last couple of weeks we've learned how to use Schoology. We've learned how to use the resources folder to attach things to our courses. We've learned how to add files and folders last week, and today we're learning the Google Drive. Last week, I think it's really important to just reiterate that using folders is key for organization. So as you're building your courses, just remember that. The second thing was I discovered recently the Add Media button on Add Materials is really helpful if you want thumbnails of media, pictures or video. It doesn't work with PDFs or docs, but under the Add Materials button, if you click Add Media and play around there, I think it really adds thumbnails and allows you to view pictures quite easily. So the good news is that Schoology links really well with the Google Drive. It allows for easy distribution and work and submission through Schoology. It mimics a lot of what Google Classroom does. The things that we like about Google Classroom, Schoology is able to do that. One thing I do want to point out though is you don't have to use the handout feature. PowerSchool Learning uses handout, that feature. You don't have to use that. You can always just attach a Google Drive link to a document, and then students can grab that, make a copy of it if you want them to work on something as a group, okay? So here are our goals for today. We're continuing to build courses for next year, remembering that we only need to be ready for the beginning of the year. You don't have to have your whole year planned out all at once. I want to give you a student view of a Google assignment to see what that looks like, and then I want you to see how to create those Google assignments and what that looks like from a teacher end. The Google assignment works well with slides and with Google Docs. I have not tested it with Google Sheets, and it doesn't work with Google Forms. So I'll show you another way to use Google Forms. Okay. Before we get into that, I just wanted to point out that your Google Drive assignments that were on PowerSchool Learning, all of those would have migrated over. But when they migrated over, it did something a little bit funny. It took all of the student work with it, and I want to show you how to delete those. And I also want to point out that Google Drive assignments, if you create them on your Schoology course now, they won't migrate over to next year. When a course archives, it removes the Google assignment link. So in order to save you time, I want to show you something that you can do in order to save those. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm in our Schoology middle school training course, or high school, and this is an assignment that was migrated over from PowerSchool Learning. Okay, so I want to show you what a Google assignment that's migrated over looks like. So if I click on the Edit button, you'll see that this one here is my original document. Okay, but all of these other ones, these are all student work. I don't want these. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll down, and I'm going to highlight all of these, and then I'm going to delete them because I don't need them, okay? But I'm going to leave this here in this text box, okay? Because next year, I'm going to be able to use this. I'm going to copy it, Command-C, copy, and then I'm going to use this Google Drive assignments box to create a new Google assignment, and I just have to search by hitting Command-V to find that particular assignment. So I don't have to scroll through anything, I can just click and search, okay? But you do not want to do that until August, because when this course archives, we're in the current grading period, when it archives, it'll lose that linkage. It'll lose this linkage that I'm creating right now. So if I attach it, now it's right here and it's attached, okay? But I don't want to do that in this school year, because when it archives, this will be removed. But this up here, this will not be removed. So just keep that in there, and that'll save time for next year. Okay, I'm going to cancel that. Now, let me show you how to create Google assignments. You just saw me create it there, but I'm going to walk you through it a little bit more closely. Okay, so in our training course, this is day 3. And here is a Schoology Google assignment. Okay, so this is my teacher view. I've assigned it and I will be able to get a window of in progress and of student submissions. Okay, I can toggle between my two sections. Okay, I'm going to stay in middle school. So this is what I see on the teacher end. Now I'm going to show you a student view. So this is what a student would see. So Vicky is enrolled in this course. This is what she sees. Okay, so Schoology Day 3 assignment. She would click on there, and it does not generate anything until she clicks My Document. As soon as she does this, she now gets the assignment, a handout created just for her. Okay, and she can start filling it in. So I can delete this. I'll just say Mike, high school, middle school. Now let me show you what I see on my end as a teacher. So I can now click in progress, and none of these other people have opened it yet. So it says they have not opened the document. But if I scroll down to Vicky, I now see her document in progress. So as she makes changes, let's make a change. Let's change this to Vicky. Oops. You'll notice my document updates right away. Okay, so the really nice thing is that you can scroll through your class and see who is in progress at this moment. You can see who hasn't opened it. Okay, now let's say she's done and she wants to submit it. She can click submit, and it gives you that signal that you've submitted it. Now if you look on my end, if I click on submissions, I will now see her name here. Okay, and I can look at her document, and I can also return this to her. I can say, no, you didn't do this correctly, and I can unsubmit. So what happened is she turned ownership of that document over to me as soon as she hit submit, and I can give it back to her by clicking unsubmit, and it will now go back to her. Okay, and you'll see that it moves now into my in progress view. Okay, so very similar to what Google Classroom does. Okay, so that is what it looks like from a teacher end and from a student end. Now, how did I create this? Let me show you. So if I click back to day 3, I'm going to go to my Add Materials button, and I'm going to click Add Assignment. So let's just title this Google Assignment Test. I can give some instructions in here. And I'm going to click right under here where it says Google Drive Assignments. It's now looking in my drive. So I can search for whatever I want. Okay, let's say I want parking permit. That's the one I want. I'm going to click here. And this tells me that it will create a handout for my students. Let's say you realize, oh, I don't want to create a handout for my students. Okay, well then you do not want to use this Google Drive Assignments box. Okay, what you want to do then is you want to put the link to your document right here. Okay, so if you went in your drive and you found the document that you wanted, okay, so let's just pick a document. We'll do a drive, we'll do a slideshow. I'm going to take this URL and I'm just going to paste it right in here. And you'll then give instructions. Click on the Google assignment below and share with your group members. So if you don't want an individual handout for each student, this is the feature that you would want to use. Now, let's say you don't like the look of that. You could also insert a link. And what that will do is it will generate a link, and where it goes is underneath the underneath your instructions. Okay, so now I've got a link in here. Let's say I want to make it really obvious that it's a link. I can change my color. I can change the size of it. And now it becomes more obvious. I need to choose a category. So I'm going to say this is ungraded. And now I can create. And what I've now done is I've created an assignment. The default, remember, is the bottom of your page. Okay, so now my assignment is right here. students click in and they'll be able to click on the link, okay? So that's what you would use if you wanted students to not get a handout, okay? What I want to do now is show you how to do a Google form. So that might look a little bit different for you. So what you're going to do for a Google form, and I'll show you, here's what it looks like, is it's just a link. So Schoology Day 3 survey, this is a Google form, and this is what it looks like. So as a student, you'll be able to work on that right in this window. So how did I create that? I created it by using add materials, add file, and adding a link. Okay, so what I did was, here's my survey. If I click in here, and I get the link, copy it, I go back to my Schoology page, I insert the link, and I title it Google Survey or whatever makes sense for you. I can toggle where I want it displayed. I can either have it displayed in Schoology or I can display it in a new window, okay? And now when students click on it, it opens up a window on Schoology and they can answer my survey right there. So that, I think, is the best way to create a Google survey. The other thing I want to point out to you is as soon as students open your documents on Schoology, is it creates a folder on your Google Drive called Schoology Google Drive Assignments. So if I click in here, everything that students have done in my courses is now in here. So this is the course I've created. I've got my 2 sections, high school, middle school. Let me just go back to our slideshow. Okay, so we have learned how to, we've seen what a Google Doc assignment looks like on Schoology. You've learned how to create one. You've learned how to create a Google form. If you have any questions about this, I would use the survey. It's actually this survey right here, the same one that I showed you, okay, which is on Schoology, right? You can use this one and ask me any questions. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks again.